Well, hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of No More Excuses. Yes, this is my podcast where I cut the bullshit and help you own your power and get shit done. I am Sandy Ballard, the badass business coach. I'm the host of No More Excuses podcast and a badass business coach. I want to talk today about a myth that is near and dear to my heart. Yes, I know a lot of these things are that I talk about because I've been through it, I've learned it, thought about it, researched, fucked it up, or maybe helped one of my clients through this. So today, this myth that needs to totally just die is the idea that you have to be a bitch to be a badass. And men, that includes you too. But spoiler alert, you don't. I've been through this. I've learned it. Being strong, confident, and successful does not mean you've got to bulldoze people, be rude, or burn every bridge in sight. I've been called a bitch more times than I can count. What do they say? If I had a nickel for every time I've been called a bitch, I'd be rich. So there you are. What I've learned over the years, though, is that those people are scared of my confidence, are jealous that I can walk into a room and gain the attention without demanding it, and they can't. And that feeling of that jealousy, realizing other people are jealous of what you have, it is freeing, right? You know, a few years ago, I've talked about this. I've shared this story many times. I received an email from a young woman. She had recently graduated college and she was attending this women's networking event with me. And I'm not sure what I did or said, but all I remember from the email is she said, "You have the confidence of a privileged male." It was very refreshing. Thank you. And I read that. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. A privileged male versus a regular male, a non-privileged male, regular male. I just smiled and replied, thank you. You know, she didn't see me as being a bitch or cocky or trying to run the room. She saw me as a leader and something she aspired to be, a confident woman, a confident badass, right? So let's break it down. Let's talk about what it really means to be a badass. Badass versus a bitch. What is the difference? Well, here's the deal. A lot of people, especially women, like I said, men can run into this as well, but mostly women are told that if they want to be taken seriously, they have to be tough, one of the guys, or for some reason that translates to being harsh, dismissive, straight up mean, just direct and to the point. And with my personality type, depending on which flag is flying, I'm an ID split. So that means I'm a general that likes to have fun. Sometimes I'm very talkative. I laugh a lot. I am only 5'5" and blonde. So people don't necessarily always take me seriously. They don't always look at me like the serious businesswoman. But guess what? Challenge me on that, right? I will get in your ass and make you just dig deeper to achieve more, right? So, you've got to really just lean into it without being that bitch, right? The thing is the real power is not being that. The real power is in being authentic. The insecurity is being the mean, bitchy, harsh, dismissive, too direct type of person, right? Walking in the room going, "Hey, I'm here," being loud and obnoxious, right? Or demanding people talk to you. All right. So you've got to really just quit overcompensating, in other words. A true badass doesn't need to belittle people to feel strong. And that I have come across some women who, instead of collaborating or just being colleagues, have been like, this is my territory, this is my world, versus building each other up. Yeah. You don't need to stomp on people to climb higher. Instead, you need to do three things. Set up clear boundaries without apology. Oh my gosh, boundaries, boundaries, boundaries. They always hurt other people and first versus you. Speak with confidence, not arrogance, and lead with both strength and empathy. Empathy, I would say, is one thing. No, I do have empathy. I don't have sympathy. There you go. I don't have much sympathy for people. I understand how you feel, but I'm ready to help you get shit done. Okay? Let's quit whining, quit bitching, and let's get going. Being a badass is about standing firm in your values. Oh, standing firm in your values. That's so important. Making bold moves and staying true to yourself without tearing others down in the process. And that's the problem. Women have evolved a lot, but because I think it was just like this female cockfight at first, because if we wanted to succeed or break the glass ceiling, I hate that fucking term, but really that learn about and earn that equality. Women were, yeah, like I said, cockfighting against each other. Men do it all the time, right? It's this competition and challenge. But I think women have evolved, but they're still out there. You still sometimes, especially if you're a woman working in a man's industry. I have clients who are electricians, and I have one that years ago she became her husband's boss. They worked at the same company, obviously. And that was challenging at first. It was like the boss is on the job site or something like that. Just like so they had to learn how to work through that. She had to learn herself, and that's why she hired me, how to walk onto that job site without demanding the attention and respect, instead earning it, right? And so let's talk about this badass energy like that and showing up strong. How do you embody that energy? It starts with three things: mindset, communication, and action. Yes, mindset. A badass knows their worth. They don't seek validation from others. And that part is huge. Do not seek validation from others. If you know your shit and you're confident, just do what you do. Badasses trust themselves, make decisions with conviction, and don't waste time on self-doubt. That can be hard. It can be very hard. You can get in your own head and clusterfuck everything up with just your negative mindsets. You've got to learn how to reframe that. And I talked about that in a recent webinar I did called Unshame Reframe to Sustain Your Success. You've got to reframe that. If you start doubting yourself, ask yourself why. What's going on? Especially if it's coming from those outside sources. So, say you are a woman in a man's industry and you walk into that room or in that meeting or on the job site or wherever, and you're sensing looks or you're not getting the respect you deserve because you're in that role, that can affect that confidence, that can affect it. But remember to dig in and remember who you are and what you've accomplished and why you are there. Okay. Number two, communication. How you say things matters. And it's that's just as important as what you have to say. Again, to walk into a meeting or walk into a job site and start being bold or be bold, but you have to be loud, right? Be confident and authentic. Your tone is where things are. And I correct people all the time, correct, especially clients, on their tone. And the man candy, he'll talk to me sometimes, and I'm like, what is with the tone, right? I just asked a question. So you have to watch the tone as well. You can be direct without being cold, assertive, aggressive, and confident without being condescending. And that's where that tone comes in. So listen to yourself. Okay. And number three, action. Show up, follow through, and prove people wrong. do what you said you were going to do. And again, like I said, not by being the loudest in the room, but by constantly delivering results, consistency in your results. Yes, sometimes proving. A lot of us, all of us, it doesn't matter, man, woman, trying to be a badass, whatever. People want to see action, not just hear the words. Okay. So next, let's discuss handling criticism. Whew, newsflash. No matter how kind, strong, or fair you are, someone will still call you a bitch. Why? Hmm, Because they're jealous or they lack the confidence that you have. People don't like when others set boundaries. Like I said, it hurts them first. People don't like when you stop people pleasing. If you were always that yes person, you know, can't always say yes. You can say no and you can say not right now. And people definitely don't like it when you outgrow the version of yourself that they were comfortable with. So, yeah, maybe you got that promotion or you became a leader of this or that. Maybe you're just now the leader of a board or committee that you're on. Well, it's because you've earned it. So here's what you do. You do not shrink. You do not soften your edges to make other people comfortable. And you own your power. Let your work speak for itself. Let the noise fade into the background. Be authentic. Be you. And I cannot stress that enough. So, my final message, the badass code. Being a badass isn't about proving a point, it's about living in your truth, setting the standards, walking with confidence. So, they always say, if you're not sure if you're supposed to be there, walk in like you own the place, right? You can get through a lot just by taking a breath, counting, doing a power pose, whatever it is you want to do to just own it. There's times when I've walked or before I've walked into a networking event because I'm just tired or whatever has happened through that day. And I just am like, I had to drag myself to be there. And if you're an introvert, you might have to do this. And just, I paused outside, I went to the bathroom and I just, like looked in the mirror, took a few breaths, calmed myself and was like, all right, let's do this. We got this. Sometimes you have to. I don't care how confident you are, how, wherever you're leading, so, people respect you already, but sometimes it's the energy more than the confidence. You just got to walk in and do it. Sometimes you got to talk yourself into doing the shit you might not want to do. So let's make something clear. You can be kind and powerful. You can be compassionate and strong. And you can be a force to be reckoned with without being an asshole or a bitch. So there you go. Handle your business and remember, there are no more excuses. Okay? That's why you're here. No more excuses. So that's it for today. If this episode resonated with you, please share it, tag me at or hashtag badass business coach. And let's keep this badass movement growing. All right. Until next time, keep pushing, keep growing, keep showing up as the powerhouse badass that you are. Cheers.